Good morning, old Simon Mara. It's 8 o'clock. Usually I make my video at 9, but today I decided to make it 8. I set my alarm for 9, but I slept for like 9.5 hours. So my body's good, so I decided to wake up at like 8:30, 8:40 and make this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my double header yesterday. I have now a sick video, I know. This camera is really pissing me off. Give me a sec here. I'm just gonna take away the charger. That's better. Right now my battery's at 34%. There's enough juice for this video. I'll just charge it when the video's done. Yeah. Live now's a sick video, man. You're sucking me about Kevin Fiege, I know. He might go to DC, perhaps. You never know, right? He might go to DC. I told you, Disney will probably be throwing him a boatload of money for him to stay, obviously. Or maybe not. Maybe they might tell him to step down if the movies keep flopping until Avengers, right? Because if all the Marvel's movies keep flopping until the Avengers movies, I don't think Kevin Feige is going to stay at Marvel. I think he's done, man. I think, okay, right now, I can't fix the mess that I made. Let me just end it off on a high note. That way I made the company a little bit of profit and I'm out of here. I think that's a plausible decision, right? John Cameron has the eye, and that's pretty smart. If the Marvel movies keep flopping, it would make sense. Kevin Feige wants to leave it before he leaves, if he wants to leave and explore the options and how he wants to leave Marvel on a high note. With the next president that jumps in, they're in a much better position when they come in to fix Marvel. I heard Marvel they might either do a reboot or even recast a lot of characters. Yeah. Obviously, right? Yeah. If Marvel wants to fix their Phase 4 or 5 mess, I think the best thing for them to do is reboot. Just reboot the whole thing, man, and start fresh, like DC, because the multiverse, it's very tough to fix the multiverse nonsense, obviously. But who knows? They might reboot it, or they might just cast new characters. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But Disney will be throwing Kevin Feige a lot of money, man, to get him to stay. Or they might just tell him to step down if every movie flops until Avengers. They might just tell Kevin Feige to step down. Or they might extend Kevin Feige and offer him a lot of money to stay as Marvel. But if Warner Bros. When Warner Bros., they will throw money. When Warner Bros. Throws Kevin Feige a truckload of money to come work for them at Warner Bros. And run the film division, DC, Marvel's Batman, Kevin Feige's jumping ship. Guaranteed. He's jumping ship. You know. No, he won't, Ivan. Yes, he will. Kevin Feige's not stupid, man. He knows the DC brand is in a much better position than his Marvel. Yeah. The Marvel brand's in a mess, man. Yeah. Kevin Feige knows he fucked up a little bit, and it's tough to fix his multiverse mess. That's why I think if he wants to leave, I think he wants to just end it off on a high note before he jumps ship, which is smart. That makes sense, right? Because he knows the Marvel brand's in a mess. It doesn't hurt to repair some of the damage with the Avengers movies. The movies make a lot of money. The company made money, and The fans love the movie, they told good stories. Now that's a good foundation for the next president when they jump in to run Marvel, and Kevin Feige's out of there. Or he might want to stay, I don't know. We'll see what happens, obviously, right? Yeah. But I told you, every Marvel movie flops until the Avengers comes out next year, except for Spider-Man. Spider-Man won't flop. I don't think Kevin Feige's staying at Marvel. I think he's out of there. Because he knows he's in too deep. It's tough to fix that multiverse nonsense and the mess of his Marvel brand. I think he's out of there, man. Because right now the Marvel brand is not making any money, man. They're losing money. All the movies are flopping and losing money. So I think he might want to just end it off on a high note and get the fuck out of there, yeah. Which is a smart business decision, obviously, right? John Hammond, yeah, that's plausible. Yeah, it's plausible, obviously. You really don't think David Zaz will be throwing Kevin Feige a truckload of money when his contract's up? Trying to get him to help run his Warner Bros. Division? Help build that DC thing? I guarantee he will. Guarantee, and he will be throwing Kevin Feige a truckload of money. Because Warner Bros. Has deep pockets, obviously. They're going to be throwing Kevin Feige a lot of money. Guaranteed. No, it's not going to happen. He's Kevin Feige. He's Kevin Feige, yeah. He's the man responsible. Partly responsible, obviously. I'm not going to say fully responsible. Partly responsible for the success of the MCU and its glory days. Every movie averaging $1 billion. The most successful, franchise universe in movie history, man. Obviously. But even though Kevin Feige will be remembered as a legend, they're not going to forget what happened on Phase 4 and 5. And so I believe if Kevin Feige wants to leave after his contract's done and explore other options in Hollywood, it would make sense why he brought back the same guys. He wants to end it off on a high note with the Avengers movies. They made money, and then that leaves the next president in a better position when they try to rebuild the Marvel brand. But I think he's not stupid. Even though the Avengers movies make money, Marvel still has a lot of baggage. Because they're in the multiverse nonsense, and it can still go downhill after that. I think Kevin Feige's not stupid. He knows it's kind of in a mess. I think he just wants to end off on a high note and just get the fuck out of there. Yeah, if he wants to leave, or he wants to end off on a high note, extend with Disney, and then help build it all. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's out of there. I think Kevin Feige's jumping ship after his 2-year contract's up. Yeah. Because I know other companies are going to be throwing him off this. Warner Bros. David Zaslav will guarantee be throwing Kevin Feige a truckload of money to work for him. Guaranteed. We want you to come help build our DCU. And Kevin Feige's not stupid. He knows that DCU is in a much better position than Marvel. Because Marvel brand's in a mess. I'm sorry. It's in a mess, obviously. His Marvel brand's in a mess, yeah. I have to go pick up my medication. I didn't pick it up yesterday. I was lazy. It cost me $60 for that, man. My medication. I also got to go to the mall and sign for my health card. Yeah. I sign the paper at home, and then tomorrow after work at Denny's, I can go to the mall, pay my $20, whatever it is, for my health card at the mall, and I get my health card in like 2 weeks. And apply for my welfare. Yeah. Yeah, but Ivan, Disney has deeper pockets than Warner Bros. Yes, they do. So Disney could perhaps offer Kevin Feige a richer salary, but DC has the advantage in terms of box office points for Kevin Feige. They can give him a piece of box office points for some of the DC movies. Yeah, Kevin Feige, like this DC thing has potential to be huge. They could be averaging even $1 billion like your Marvel will give you a piece of the points, will pay you a lot of money for your salary, but not what Disney's paying you. Disney has the advantage with the salary because they have deeper pockets, but not the box office. Because Marvel's in a mess right now. They don't really have that guarantee for the box office like they did in phases 1, 2, and 3. Because the Marvel movies are not making money right now. They're all losing money and breaking even, right? They're not making any money. Obviously. Even the pretty good movies are not making money. Thunderbolts, I heard, was a pretty good movie. And that movie flopped hard. It made $383 million, man. Like, they're all flopping badly, man. Yeah. So Kevin Feige might not even see a box office return, right? Yeah. For his box office points. So that's the disadvantage that Disney has over Warner Bros. Warner Bros. DC, obviously. Yeah. What position do you think Kevin Feige will have at Warner Bros. If he jumps ship? Probably the Alan Horn position that Alan Horn had at Disney. Alan Horn, I believe, he ran the film division. He was in charge of all the film division of Disney. So he was Kevin Feige's boss. So Kevin Feige might be James Gunn and Peter Safran's boss at Warner Bros. If Warner Bros. Grabs him, obviously. And he works for them, right? He might be James Gunn and Peter Safran's boss, yeah. Or he might stay at Marvel. We'll see what happens. I highly doubt though, man. Marvel's in a messy situation right now. Kevin Feige's in too deep. He's in a very messy situation. He dug himself way too deep. He can't. I don't think he can get out of that hole. I think he just wants to end it off on a high note to put the next president in a better position, and then he just jumps ship and he leaves, man. I don't think he wants to fix that mess. It's very tough to fix that. Yeah, he's in a very, very deep hole right now, Kevin Feige. The quality of his Marvel movies and shows have dipped in quality since Phases 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, and there are a few gems here. Like Deadpool and Wolverine was pretty good. Thunderbolts, I heard, was pretty good. Captain America 4 was not that good, obviously. And Shang-Chi was amazing, but all the other movies are all mediocre at best or terrible. They're not that great movies. Black Widow, Thor: Love and Thunder, Multiverse Max. Multiverse Max is pretty good, but even that wasn't that great, right? Thor: Love and Thunder, I heard, wasn't that great. It was mediocre at best. The quality obviously dropped significantly since Phases 1, 2, and 3, and Kevin Feige knows it. His movies are not that good. His Marvel movies are not that good. His shows are not that good. And they're all his movies are losing money and flopping, man. Phases 4 and 5, that's not good for the company. The Marvel brand is what? Is losing a lot of money right now in the box office. I think Kevin Feige knows that. That's why I think if he wants to leave, it would make sense. He wants to leave it off. He wants to leave Marvel on a high note with the 2 hits of the Avengers movies, and after that he's out of there. Which is obviously smart, a smart business decision on his part, obviously, right? Okay, it's not all my movies are losing money. It doesn't hurt for me. Let me have the same guys who worked on the Avengers movies. Let's end this off on a high note before I leave, if he wants to leave. That way I leave the other president in a better position, obviously. But if Warner Bros. Offers me contracts to help run that DC thing, I think I'm jumping ship. I'm going to help build that thing, man. DCU is in a much better position than my Marvel. My Marvel's in a mess right now. Yeah, he knows that Kevin Feige sounds stupid. Yeah. saying? Yeah. So, you think there's going to be a huge bidding war for Kevin Feige? Oh, yeah. Once his contract's up, you're looking at behind the scenes. You're looking at a huge bidding war for Kevin Feige. A lot of companies will be throwing him a lot of money, obviously, because they know he built that MCU. He built that huge MCU. Even though it went down after Phase 4 and 5, he built the MCU for Phases 1, 2, and 3 into its glory days. With help, obviously, but he had a large part to play with that success. There's going to be a huge bidding war over Kevin Feige, obviously. Well, I think he'll end up at Warner Bros. If Universal, Sony, and like Netflix, you know what I'm saying, offer him offers, I think he'll end up at Warner Bros. Kevin Feige, because he's good friends with James Gunn, and he also knows Alan Horn. Alan Horn's at Warner Bros. I think Kevin Feige will end up at Warner Bros. Running the film division, and he oversees the DC thing, and he helps build it, obviously, if he wants to leave. I'm qualifying if he wants to leave, because maybe Kevin Feige doesn't want to leave. Maybe he really does want to fix the Marvel thing. I don't know. But I think right now he's probably overstressed. He's very, very stressed out because all his movies are losing money, and what? He's stressed out. I think he just wants to end it off on a high note if he wants to leave and get the fuck out of there. Yeah, get the fuck out of that mess that he created for Phases 4 and 5. The multiverse mess, obviously, right? Yeah. That's what I think. John Henry Robert alive, and you're smart. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. If he wants to leave, it would make sense after what happened in Phases 4 and 5, with all his movies losing money and flopping, breaking even. It would make sense for him to end it on a high note before he leaves. That way he puts the next president in a better position. Yes, that makes sense, obviously. That makes sense. Samsara. Yeah. He wants to repair some of the damage that he did to the brand, obviously. As I gave the example of the CEO, right? Yesterday, right? Yeah. Kevin Feige obviously wants to repair some of the damage that he did to Marvel before he leaves, if he wants to leave, or he might want to build on from Avengers and stay at Disney. But I'll tell you right now, and I highly doubt it, man. If every movie keeps flopping until the Avengers movies, I don't think Kevin Feige's staying Marvel. I think he's out of there. Because I think he doesn't want to fix that, man. It's tough to fix. I told you, only 3 movies in Phases 4 and 5 that got released made money, guys. Every other movie either broke even or lost money. They didn't make any money. Yeah. Thor: Love and Thunder made money. Very little money. Very little profit. Multiverse of Madness made money. That made almost $1 billion, $900 million. That was profitable. And Deadpool Wolverine made its $1 billion plus. So only 3 movies for the entire Phases of Marvel 4 and 5 made money. Am I missing anything, guys? No, you're not. I mean, yeah, all the other movies lost money. Every single other movie lost money or broke even. Even Shang-Chi didn't make any money. It only made like $400 million. That movie was not profitable. It probably broke even or lost money. Even though it was a great movie, it didn't make any money. Eternals flopped. Black Widow flopped hard. I can keep going, yeah. Captain America 4 flopped. Thunderbolts flopped. Fantastic Four will be another flop, dude. That movie will not be a $1 billion hit. We're lucky to make $600 million for Fantastic Four, $550 million for Fantastic Four. That's my prediction. It will not be a $1 billion hit. Yeah. Some say, huh? Yeah, but Ivan, in John Camper's review, some people say it's the greatest Marvel movie ever made. I highly doubt that. I don't think Fantastic Four will be the greatest Marvel movie ever made, right? I highly doubt that. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, what do you think is the greatest Marvel movie ever made? That's a tough one, man. You're talking about standalone or like ensemble? In terms of story, I'm gonna go with in terms of just story, I'm gonna go with either Iron Man 1 or maybe Black Panther. Black Panther is arguably one of the best standalone Marvel movie, you can argue, right? In terms of story, but Captain America Winter Soldier is also really good too. But that's more like action entertainment. In terms of story, Black Panther has a better story than Winter Soldier. But I might go with Iron Man 1, the original Iron Man 1. That might just be the best standalone story out of all the Marvel movies. Yeah. Because it's just a simple story about a man who's fighting for the soul of his company, right? It's just a simple. I like simple stories, right? You can argue that Iron Man 1 is probably the best standalone movie. You can argue, but I mean, or Winter Soldier, or Black Panther. I also love the first Thor. Thor 1 was really good too, but Thor is not on the same level as Iron Man 1. It's debatable, obviously. Yeah. But in terms of the ensemble, I might go with Avengers Infinity War. But I kind of like Avengers 1. Avengers 1 better than Infinity War in a way. I don't know. Really, I kind of like Avengers 1 more than Infinity War. I just do. Avengers 1 is arguably my favorite Avengers movie. And the worst one for me is Endgame. Endgame was boring. Yeah. Is Endgame terrible? No, it's not a terrible movie. It's pretty good, but man, watch that movie, man. It's pretty boring, man. You have like 3 hours of boredom, just them talking, and in the end, you finally get the battle and everything. That was sick. But it's a slog Endgame when you watch it. It's just like 3 hours of talking. It's boring, man. Yeah. And Age of Ultron was pretty good, but Age of Ultron is obviously the second worst one after Endgame, obviously. But I like Age of Ultron more than Endgame. I really do. I was more entertained. I liked it more. Really, I like Age of Ultron even more than Endgame. Yeah, Endgame is my least favorite Avengers movies. It's several different ways. For me, Endgame is my least favorite. It's boring, man. It's a pretty boring movie when I watch it. It's pretty boring. I think John Cameron never and it's pretty boring. Yes, it is, man. You have like 3 hours of just them talking. It's boring. It's a pretty boring movie. It's a very slow, and it's 3 hours. So imagine watching 3 hours of just like them talking. It can be a bit boring, obviously, right when you watch it. Hence why the other movies are not like that. Hence why I don't like it how they went into the multiverse, man. For Endgame, they went to the multiverse. And they change things in a different universe and all that stuff. I don't like that. And that's what I had a part to play with in Massive Phases 4 and 5. So they went to the multiverse for Endgame, obviously. Yeah. But no, I give it to Infinity War. Infinity War is my favorite Avengers movie. But you can also argue Avengers 1 is better, right? It just depends how the art hits you. But Thanos is a much better villain than Loki in the first one. I like the whole thing in Avengers 1, how the Avengers don't really know that much about each other. And like Cap and Iron Man don't like each other in Avengers 1 at first, right? And eventually grow to like each other, and and that's how they become the Avengers when you watch the first movie, obviously. But I give it to Infinity War. Infinity War is the best one, the best Avengers movie, obviously. But I told you, even though the Avengers movies are amazing, man, Justice League has potential to blow it out of the water if it's done right. And no offense, man, Justice League is much cooler than Avengers. It just is, man. You have like Batman, you have Superman, you have Flash, you have Wonder Woman. It's fucking amazing. That's why the DC thing has potential to be huge, man. James Gunn's DCU has potential to be huge. I recommend all you guys watch my video. I recommend you all this week, next week, you guys all go to the theaters and see Superman. I think this thing is huge. It makes $800+ million, and Warner Bros. Can make their profit off this. Hey, you're welcome, guys. That's how nice I am, yeah. So, yeah. So, Ivan, you believe if what? If all the Marvel movies keep flopping, which is a possibility until Avengers, Kevin Feige's out of there, yeah, he's out of there, man. Guaranteed. If every Marvel movie that comes out until the Avengers Doomsday next year, and they're all flops, except for Spider-Man. Spider-Man will be a hit. But I told you, Marvel doesn't really own the Spider-Man brand. Sony that owns it. So it doesn't really count. Sony is the one who owns the Spider-Man brand, right? I think, am I right, John? Yeah, Ivan, you're right. Sony pretty much owns the brand. Yeah, Sony owns the brand. Yeah, Marvel is a small partner, but like Sony is the one who really owns the Spider-Man brand, not Kevin Feige's Marvel. So I'm saying, yeah. Yeah. So I do think if every Marvel movie flops until Avengers, Kevin Feige's out of there. Yeah, he's out of there, man. Okay, it's not working. All my movies are losing money. Let's end this off on a high note with the Avengers movies. Movies made $1 billion, $1.5 billion, whatever it is, and the fans loved it. I want some of the fans back. The next president is in a better position. I'm gonna take my losses, and take my losses and get the fuck out of here. Yeah, Kevin Feige has to cut his losses and get the fuck out of there, because the MCU is in a mess right now. All the movies are losing money. They're not making any money, obviously, which is not good, obviously, right? Yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. I have to go pick up my meds. Yeah. Today I'm off, but tomorrow I work at Dinty's. So tomorrow I'll make my video after my Dante shift at Dinty's, obviously. And Thursday I'm off, and I also might be off Friday too. Because I wasn't supposed to work last Friday. I didn't know. I went to work. The guy told me, he's like, Ivan, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to work. And then they were going to send me home, and then they decided to make me, well, Ivan, come and work. We need you. It's busy. Yeah, and I worked last Friday. So I can't complain. I made more money, right? Yeah. Yeah. Are you saying he guaranteed will jump ship? It's not guaranteed. He might still stay, but I think Kevin Feige, he's been with Marvel for, I don't know, almost 20 years of his career. I think it's time for him to just step down and explore his options. Yeah. And it's very tough to fix the Marvel mess, honestly. It's very tough to fix that, yeah. Especially with every movie losing money, it's very tough to fix it, obviously. Like right now, Marvel is in the state that the old DCEU was in. You know, all the DCU movies were just flopping, losing money. Yeah, right now Marvel's is in that position. They're in the same position that the old DCU was in, obviously, right? Yeah, they're in the same position that the old DCU's in, obviously. All the old DCU, all the movies were losing money, flopping, and all the Marvel movies are losing money, flopping. They're not making any money, man. Obviously. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's why I think once Kevin Feige's 2 years contract's up, he's out of there. Yeah, I ended off on a high note with the Avengers movies, Disney. I made you some money. I'm out of here, man. Warner Bros. threw me big offers. I'm gonna work for David Zasla's Warner Bros. And help build that James Gunn's DC. Yeah, that could happen. You never know, right? I'm not saying it will, but there's a possibility it can happen, right? You never know. It could happen, right? I think John Cameron, Robin Aaron, yeah, even that could happen. Do not be surprised if Kevin Feige is running that DC thing in a couple years now. Yeah, you never know. Because DC's in a much better position. They're in a healthier position than Marvel. They're starting fresh with a new DCU universe. And the fans love James Gunn's Superman. They resonate well with Superman. This thing has potential to be huge. Yeah. As Superman will do more money than even Kevin Feige's Iron Man back in 2008. Kevin Feige's Iron Man made $500 million. Superman will easily hit $500 plus million. It should do at least its 600 plus million, right? 600, 700, $800 million in the box office, Superman. It will beat out even Iron Man. And Iron Man was in that rebuilding stage too for yeah. I thought Kevin Feige's goal for Iron Man wasn't really to make money. That was to launch the MCU and win the fans for Marvel. Then he released Captain America, Thor. Captain America, First Avenger lost money. I didn't make any money. Thor didn't make any money either. It broke even. But that's how they built the brand. No, Thor might have been a little bit. Thor was made for $100 million. No, it broke even. It broke even, Thor. But that's how they built the brand. And the other movies became huge. And Winter Soldier made $800 million, almost $1 billion. Thor 2 wasn't that good, obviously. But what? And Iron Man 2 made, like, I think, almost $1 billion, $800 million, something like that. Yeah, but Iron Man 2 wasn't that good, though. I didn't like Iron Man 2 that much. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. So are you saying the fans love Superman more than Iron Man? Kevin Feige's Iron Man, yes. The fans are obviously resonating more with James Gunn's Superman than they did Kevin Feige's Iron Man back in 2008. Because that movie made $500 million. Superman's is already past $400 million on his. It's now on its 3rd week. It will easily beat out Iron Man. Superman will make $500 plus million easy. It's only been 2 weeks. It already made $400-something million. So you see what I'm saying? The potential of DC, it could be Marvel in its glory days, perhaps. That's why Kevin Feige might jump ship and help build. Yeah, I'd rather help build that DCU. The DCU is more interesting than Marvel anyways, yeah. John Camp and Ron Burnett, they read Marvel DC Comics. I think they would agree that the DCU is more interesting than the Marvel, obviously, when you read it. The only thing that I really love in Marvel is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is very, very interesting when I read it, obviously. Have you read DC comics and Marvel comics? I have, obviously. And I like DC more than Marvel, obviously. It's more interesting. Yeah. The only thing that I really love about Marvel is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the only thing that I like just as much as the DC stuff. But reading Superman and Batman is more interesting than reading like Iron Man and Thor and Captain America, right? That's my point. It's more interesting, obviously. Because Marvel, you just have humans with powers. They're mutants, obviously, except for Thor. Thor's a god, obviously, but all the other guys are all mutants with powers. But Black Widow and Hawkeye don't have any powers. They're just trained. They're just trained fighters, obviously. They don't have any powers. But all the other guys are humans with. They're superhumans with powers, obviously. They just have powers. Spider-Man's not a god. He's a human being. He's a mutant. He's a human being with extraordinary powers, obviously. Whereas DC, you have the gods. Wonder Woman, you have Supergirl, you have Superman. I'm saying Batman's not a god, but Batman is badass, obviously, right? Yeah, there's more potential for DC, obviously. In my opinion, anyways, right? And Ron Burnett, he read the comics. He read Marvel and DC. I think he would agree with, yeah, I mean, there's more potential with DC than Marvel. DC's more interesting. Yeah, it's more interesting than Marvel, obviously, when you read it, right? The comics, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think DCU is in a better position than Marvel? Obviously, because they're starting fresh, and the fans are resonating more with James Gunn's Superman than they even did with Kevin Feige's Iron Man. Yeah, as Iron Man only made like $500 million in the box office back in 2008. Obviously, and the fans are resonating even more with James Gunn's Superman than even Kevin Feige's Iron Man back in '08. And that was the Iron Man was meant to what? To launch the MCU back in 2008 and win the fans, obviously, right? Yeah, because don't forget, even after Iron Man, Captain America and Thor, those movies didn't make any money either. Like Captain America: First Avenger only made like $300 million. That movie flopped. And then the second one it was huge. It made $800 million, almost $900 million. Thor only made $400 million, but that's how they built the brand, obviously. I don't think DC's in that position. I don't think Supergirl will make like $400 million. It won't. Supergirl should be a proper movie. It should make its 800 plus easy. Supergirl. And Brave and the Bold will be an easy 1 billion hit because Batman is a very popular IP, obviously. Superman is in a much healthier position than Kevin Feige's Marvel. That's why I believe Kevin Feige, once his 2-year contract's up, he's jumping ship, man. I think he might go to Warner Bros. And help run that DC thing. You never know, it might happen, right? Yeah. Because Warner will be throwing him a truckload of money, man. Hey, Kevin, man, come help us build this DC thing. It's in a much better position than your Marvel right now. He's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, your Marvel thing is kind of in a mess, Kevin Feige. I recommend you come work for us. And he's like, I'll come work for you. He jumps ship, man. He leaves Marvel. He works for Warner Bros. He helps run James Gunn's DC. And he builds it and it becomes huge. The next, I don't know, 15, 20 years. Yeah. I'm saying? Does Kevin Feige know much about DC? I'm pretty sure he does. He's a comic book fan, I heard. I know he knows quite a bit about Marvel. He read the comics and all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure he knows about a little bit about DC too. He's a comic book fan, Kevin Feige, right? So he knows about. I'm pretty sure he knows a little bit about DC. Obviously, he knows a little bit about DC. Obviously, probably not that much, but he probably knows a little bit about DC. Obviously, right? Yeah. 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 Shut this car for guys. See you in part 2.